Hello guys, so I was having a conversation in my DM with a potential client, and this client was a man, and he was a very unusual client, and I'm going to tell you why he was very unusual. He was a man, and he was asking me for herbal products to make himself healthy, to live a healthy life. Although I'm going to be frank, he did ask me for what men typically ask me for, which is performance enhancing herbs. He did ask me for that. I'm going to be honest. But he asked me for things that men usually do not ask me for. Now, I'm not having the conversation with him. I told him, I said, this thing you are doing is very unusual for men. And I told him something. I said, have you ever noticed that if you check statistics all around the world, you're going to notice that women tend to live longer than men for some reason. If you check almost all the countries you can think of, if you check the statistics, you see that women have a higher life expectancy, on average than men. And I've often wondered why. And based on my own practice, sometimes it's easy for me to understand why. Because I told him, I said 95% of my customers are women, my clients. And they are either getting things for themselves to be healthy, or they are getting things for their husbands to be healthy. And many of them are getting things for their husbands that they are going to force their husbands to take up. And there is another thing again too. Men tend to be under a lot of stress. The society has placed a burden on men that has said, in our society, well, generally, men are supposed to be the providers. Men are the ones that are supposed to go and hustle for the family. Men are the ones that are supposed to bring money, feed, pay school fees, pay house rent, and all that. And if you pair such a lifestyle with an attitude of, oh, I'm a man, I shouldn't be bothered about, being particular about my health and everything, it's a recipe for disaster. So if as a man, you have to be what the society has said you should be, a provider, a hustler, the person that is working 24/7, you should also make out time for self-care. You should also make out time to take care of your health. Not when there is a problem, is when you will now start seeking help. And I was telling her, I said, I know so many people. You see couples, you see the woman, she watches her diet, she eats, she knows what is good for her, what she's supposed to eat, and she's doing all those things. She's taking vitamins. How many men do you know will consciously go to a store and buy a multivitamin for themselves and be taking? How many men do you know actually sit down and say, oh, I have to eat healthy, I must make sure that my diet is healthy? How many? And they are the ones that are mostly always hustling. So I think that a combination of that too. And there is also this thing with I believe is a kind of societal this thing that says that men should be rugged. A man should not be too into self-care. It might mean that he's effeminate. I don't know if I'm making sense, but it shouldn't be. For people that work so hard, they should take self-care to be very important. They should take care of their health. They should go for regular health checkups. It's very important. So I was telling that client that he was unusual and that what he's doing is very good, and he should keep it up and back it up with also healthy diets, healthy lifestyle habits, exercise, sleep, eat well, have adequate sleep, take your vitamins, and also take things for general health well-being. There are very few men that do that, and the ones that are doing it is their wives are forcing them to do it. So I think that all these things, men should start taking their health seriously, because it shouldn't be. Why is it always the case? Why is it always the case that the women live longer than men? Why? That's food for thought for a lot of people. Think about this. And if you have any loved ones that are men, your husbands, your brothers, your sons, encourage them to take care of themselves.